I want you to ask yourself something, and I want you to answer it as honestly as you possibly can, because really you're the only one that's going to hear this. If you took 3 weeks completely off from your nutrition business right now, think no calls, no Instagram, no emails, no YouTube videos, no recipe testing, what would actually happen to your revenue? And not just this month, what would the potential ripple effect be if you were to take 60 days off from today? Let that sit for a second, marinate in that. And you're probably feeling super anxious and you're not loving that situation. And that's because if your answer is anything other than it would be fine, then what you've built is not quite a business just yet. It's a practice. And granted, there's nothing wrong with a practice except that you can't scale it. So if that doesn't bother you, then it's really a non-issue issue. But you also can't sell it. And you can't step away from it without it costing you something, whether that's your stress hormones or your sleep or a ton of revenue lost. And that's really what this ceiling is that so many nutritionists are faced with. And it's exactly what we're going to talk about today in this episode. This leads us into a conversation about the empire gap. And the empire gap is not a feeling. It's not the gap between where you are and where you wish you were. It's more or less a structural gap. It's going to help you organize what is and isn't working in your business. And I want to get specific about what that actually means, because it's the part that many people in this industry are not talking clearly enough about. The empire gap helps you look at every part of your business and ask, does this work without me? Your client delivery, does this happen without you on a call? Your content, is it attracting new people when you're not actively posting 7 days a week, which I know you don't want to be doing? It also helps you identify how your leads are doing. Is there anything converting a stranger to a warm prospect without you personally doing a million things to get that person's attention? And it also helps us see how our revenue is performing. Is any of it coming in on a day where you're actually not behind your desk or on your phone 24/7? For most holistic nutritionists, the honest answer to all of this is no, I don't have any of this working and flowing properly. Everything in your business likely has you at the center of it. And without you performing, you don't have any revenue. And I know this to be true because I've been this holistic nutritionist before, and I see it in my clients before they start working with me. And I hear it from people who are in the industry, and they talk about this problem of constantly having to be the reason that their business makes money. And I don't want that for you, because that's not sustainable. Again, I just want to highlight that this is not you failing. It's just you not having the right tools. Business is simply a practice, just as yoga is a practice that we get better at with time. And the nice thing about utilizing the empire gap is that it helps you get clear on the space between where you're at currently in your business, what is working and what absolutely is not working with you. And I built this tool specifically for you. It is a free assessment that you can take that walks you through 5 areas of your business, and it acts as a diagnostic tool to show you exactly where your most pressing gaps are, and not in a vague, general, generic kind of way, but in a really specific, this is actually what is holding you back kind of way. So it's linked in the show notes for you. But right now, I want you to sit with just one question before we move on to the rest of the conversation. And I want you to answer it honestly. If you stopped working for 3 weeks, what would actually keep moving in your business? You probably already know that you're not hitting a ceiling because you're not working hard enough. You're most certainly working too hard, actually. And the problem is that every hour of effort is producing 1 hour of result, and 1 hour of effort should be producing like 100 times the result. So the design of the business means that effort and output are always on a 1-to-1 ratio. And this is the worst way to leverage a business. It doesn't allow any room for passive income or to create a real business with real infrastructure. A group program or a mastermind or a digital course is leverage. A podcast that attracts clients while you're sleeping is leverage. A curriculum that someone can move through without you being on a call is leverage. These are not extras, but they are the actual architecture of a business that you can scale, you can take time away from, you could retire from, and you could actually sell it. Yeah, you have a sellable asset when you build a business that has architecture behind it. So right now, one thing that you can do is write down every single way that money is currently coming into your business. And I want you to put a star next to everyone that requires you to be personally present or personally active for it to happen. If everything has a star, and just know that that's totally normal. It's again, not a failure on your end. It's just the way that your business is currently operating. We're going to work to change that. But if every single thing has a star beside it, it's important that you know that you currently have a practice. If one or two things do not have a star, you actually have the beginning of a business. So nothing is good or bad. We're not attaching morality to it. We're simply collecting some data and getting some feedback from our business. So go ahead and make sure that you take the Empire Gap assessment, write down a list of every single way that your business is generating money right now, and identify what is requiring you to be 100% present for that money to come in. And then once you've done that, hop on over to Instagram and let me know what your gap is, and let me know what you realized is costing you so much time and so much energy in your business. 16 years ago, I built a practice, but it was years before I understood that I was doing it pretty much backwards and wrong. I was busy and I was booked out. I was really proud of what I had created, but the problem was that I was completely indispensable to every piece of that business. That is a beautiful thing, but it's also a trap at the same time. And I don't want you to feel trapped in your business or by your business. I want you to really love running your business and feeling like it's giving something back to you instead of you just pouring into it. So right now is where I'm going to encourage you again to go in and do the Empire Gap Assessment. It's a free tool that shows you exactly where your gaps are across 5 areas of your business. It's super specific and it'll show you things you probably already sense but may not have a name for yet. It's linked in the show notes. So go and grab it, and then I'll meet you back here next week for another solo episode.